Today, we close out our small business startup series with a discussion on SCORE on today's Straight Shot Marketing Podcast.
Welcome to Straight Shot. Marketing is everywhere. It's around your life, from what you eat to what you wear and where you go. It is a vital part of any and all business. Let's discuss the world of marketing and business as it influences everyday life with the staff of Atlanta marketing agency Reformation Productions and guests as they give it to us straight. Get ready. Take aim. Steady. Welcome to Straight Shot.
Hello, welcome everybody. Today is part 4, the final chapter in the Small Business Startup series. We started with part 1 discussing the building a foundation for your business, and then we interviewed and discussed the roles of the SBDC and the Chamber of Commerce in our business communities. And today we have a special guest with us, Bill Foust from SCORE. Welcome, Bill. It's good to have you.
Glad to be here.
Good.
All right. Now, if you have been watching or listening to this series, you have heard us talk about SCORE. SCORE stands for the Service Corps of Retired Executives, and they are another of the many organizations that serve the business community across the country. And they are one of my personal favorites, so I'm sure we'll get to the why.
So, Bill, welcome again, and tell me a little bit of the history of SCORE. How did it first get started? I believe it was around the same time of Lyndon B. Johnson, but give us some details around the why and the purpose.
SCORE's been around a long time. Started in 1964.
Okay.
It was formed out of the Small Business Administration, which we're still a very strong partner with, not only here in the greater Atlanta area, but across the country as well. As you know, the SBA does not have money to make loans. Well, they currently do with the new situation from Washington, but they're guarantors of loans. So many people would come to the SBA and have a business idea, but they really didn't know how to get started. So it was formed in 1964. Across the country, there are about 11,000 volunteers. Nobody's paid.
Goodness.
Just like me. There are about 400 chapters in the country. Here in Atlanta, there are 2 chapters, one downtown south, and in North Metro Atlanta is a chapter that I started about 4 years ago.
Okay, that's a good segue. Can you tell us a little bit more about your role in SCORE?
Well, until recently, I was the chairman of this chapter, and we have 20 different locations ranging all the way from Marietta and Cobb County to over here in Beaufort and Snellville. So we got a large footprint with 20 offices, and there are currently 80 of us. And we see about 350 people a month.
Oh, wow.
Who either have one-on-one mentoring, all having to be done virtually now, not in person, or attending our workshops, which Zachary has led many of our SCORE workshops.
He gets around, that Zachary.
Yes.
He gets around. And so you're starting to touch base on a little bit. Can we discuss on the offerings a little bit more that SCORE provides to the business community?
Sure. We have people who either want to start a small business. Sometimes people just have an idea, or maybe they've started on a business plan, or they're started in some form or fashion. And also people who are already in business. And here in North Metro Atlanta, it's about 50-50. 50 people who want to start a business, and about 50% are already in business. And it's every kind of business that one can think of. I think sometimes people are only limited by their imagination.
Absolutely.
We do what we call mentoring or counseling sessions. People find us through several different locations. They either go on the national SCORE site, score.org, or they come to our website, northmetroatlanta.score.org, and they can schedule an appointment right online.
Okay.
And they can even pick the profile of the mentor that they want to meet with.
Yeah, so that way they can line it up with the industry that they want to get into and that sort of thing.
In talking about the mentor program, what does SCORE look for in a mentor to have mentors participate?
Number one, we look for someone who wants to help other people. Mm-hmm. Number two, we see what kind of business background people have. And in our chapter, we've got people from every almost walk of life or discipline. Mm-hmm. You know, we've got people who are accountants, people who are in sales and marketing, in engineering, IT, human resources, logistics, law, and so we can serve the different needs of people. And if we meet with a person and we really can't help them, for example, like a woman may be wanting starting a hair salon. Well, since I've never had any experience,
you're not the person for that.
So we find someone else who can help them. We got people who, you know, have had experience, owned restaurants or bars, and different types of businesses as well. You know, we have people like Zachary who do workshops for us as well. And then we have people, you know, who are no longer actively employed, and they're using their skills and experience to help other people.
It's interesting that I've noticed it seems like anymore in recent history, it's getting harder and harder for people to retire, whether it's because they don't want to be bored and they just continue to work because they just don't feel like there's no such thing as getting on your little raft and floating out to sea in retirement. Or most of the time people just keep working, you know, whether it's financial decisions, they just want to keep making that money.
If you kind of think about it, the word retire almost has negative connotations.
Kind of.
So what we
what are you gonna do next?
So what you do is you rewire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you do.
Yes.
You do.
That's good.
You do other things with your background and experience.
Service Corps of Rewired Executives.
I like that.
I like that because that's really, I like that. You're clever. You should be in marketing. The thing that's great about that, though, is because there's a difference between retiring and rewiring in that maybe in a rewiring, you choose to keep doing it. Mm-hmm. Where when you're not rewired, you have to keep working.
Well, one of the good
things, mind shift.
One of the good things about the mentor program is you have people, they don't have to retire because now they're in a position of being able to help other people because they have all that experience, you know, and that experience
still makes them feel useful.
Well, when you're 20 years old, you don't know anything, you know, so
not even when you're 40,
you start to have somebody that will mentor you that has walked down that road, has been, that's valuable stuff. So I guess you go in instead of retiring, you can just go into service, really, into helping other people.
Yeah, because
for the love of the game.
You know, a lot of times with these retired people, they don't want to just do nothing.
Right.
I mean, especially if they are business owners or successful executive level people, they have been working so hard so long.
Now, did you have you started this chapter, you said, right?
Right.
Did you have a business yourself before, or how did that, what's your background?
I'm an attorney by education, and I worked for corporations all of my career. Ones that you might know, Magic Chef, Maytag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I got into general management. Lived in Europe for 3 years running a division of Maytag over there. And I last worked for a paper company as vice president of administration with a lot of different duties. But that's kind of similar to a lot of the other people that are within SCORE. And some of the most popular mentors are our women mentors.
Really? And why are they more popular? Besides the fact that they're super cool.
Exactly. It's because here, North Metro Atlanta, of all those 350 people, 60% of them are women.
Woo! She celebrates wildly in the background for women everywhere. Good job, ladies. So yeah, I would imagine with even more businesses opening up that might be female owned, they like having a mentor that is also female to kind of keep their head up.
So what led you to start the chapter on this side of town?
Well, the Atlanta chapter was the original chapter in the state of Georgia. It went all the way from Blue Ridge to Savannah
Oh my
to
word!
Macon, and it was just too big of a
Way too.
Yeah,
big.
that's not just Atlanta. That's
Georgia.
Georgia.
So what happened was, then different chapters started forming across the state. There's 7 now. There's one in Savannah, Columbus, Macon,
Much better.
Middle Georgia. And I was the vice chair of the Atlanta chapter. We were too big. You know,
Sure.
nobody who lives outside of 285 wants to go downtown.
Right.
Nobody downtown wants to go north beyond the perimeter. So it just made sense that we needed to do that and had needed to do it for a number of years. So
Yeah, the difference between the inside of the perimeter and the outside is like 2 different countries.
yes. So, you know, we formed this chapter and we took 6 of their offices in this area, and we've grown it to 20.
Excellent.
So there is a huge demand for people wanting to seek help.
Sure, absolutely.
So what is the process? Can you describe the process to me about what a mentor relationship looks like for the business owner?
Well, for the business owner, they get one-on-one free mentoring. There is no charge for this. So they got somebody to bounce their ideas off of, particularly the people who are in business. They maybe have been in business for a couple of years and they've run out of marketing ideas. They've hit some type of brick wall. They need a better line of credit, or they
Need some new ideas.
yeah, they need new ideas, or they're wanting to expand or growing, thinking of maybe adding another segment to their already existing business.
Or transitioning out of business.
And what would that look like, and how might they go about it, both not only from a statutory requirement standpoint, but how they would distinguish themselves from all of their other competitors. And
Sure.
no matter what
Huge.
business anyone is in, they have competitors.
Right. Now, I know that when I was first starting my first company, and I was a 20-nothing-year-old, and I was going to start my business, and the first thing you have to do is incorporate. Okay. And then you had the question of stocks, and I'm like, what? So I actually contacted Score. We had dial-up internet back then, so I got on my internet and I used my Juno account to email somebody at Score
Wow.
and had them explain to me the process of stock certificates and what that meant with starting your articles of incorporation and all of that. So I have a particular affinity for Score because they personally helped me back when I didn't know anything. That's one of the reasons that, you know, I partner so much with Score now with helping with the seminars and the workshops and that sort of thing, is because I'm trying to give back for what they had done for me personally when I was young.
Yeah. Well, you just opened up a can of worms. We're
Yes.
going to talk about the workshops a little bit. And so I know, Zachary, you've done a lot of the workshops at Score. Can you guys tell me a little bit about what goes on at the workshops and what they're like?
We do 5 to 8 workshops a month, and they're on all types of different business needs, whether it be
Topics.
finance. We got a lot of people interested in starting nonprofits, or they were before the pandemic hit. You have people who want to increase their sales. They want to learn how to do advertising on the internet. So, you know.
That's a big one right now.
Oh, that is that's a huge one, and video marketing is big. So if you don't have a video on
Sure.
your website,
Sure.
you're behind the curve.
You know, it's interesting, like, because, what Bill's talking about, for those of you listening to the podcast right now, I don't know when you're listening to this, but we are currently in the middle of the pandemic. I don't know when you're listening to this, but we're probably still in the middle of the pandemic. But when the pandemic happened, a lot of stuff changed in business, and a lot of things started going, well, you could no longer do in-person to person business anymore, B2B or B2C. So everybody had to go online.
Well, the last workshop that I did with Score, I was scheduled to do something in early of May. Right after the pandemic hit, a week later, I was supposed to do a seminar for SCORE, which was canceled. And they moved it online, and we did a Zoom webinar instead. But normally, talking about the workshops, the way it works on my end is SCORE will contact me and they say, hey, we have a need for a workshop on this subject. Would you come and teach this subject? And so I've known as far as what people are asking for because I'm the one that they ask for it. So we do a lot of I've been asked to talk on social media on the whole. I've been asked to talk on Facebook specifically. I've talked about podcasting. I've talked about video. I've talked about branding. Whatever it is that SCORE is getting feedback that they want somebody to learn. They asked me to come out, and I've taught all over the metro Atlanta. I've been in Cobb County. I've been in at the Gwinnett Chamber. They put me all over the place. Swanee, Snellville.
Even the SCORE meeting that got rescheduled to Zoom, there was still a huge attendance for that.
There was. Normally, I don't know what your experience, but normally we get 20 to 30 people that show up for these events. I've had as many as like 45 at a live event because it's during the workday because work professionals come to it. We don't want to take up their time, their home time. But the webinar had 60, 70 people in it because they could do it from their home. Easy. And they had nothing else to do because of the pandemic. So,
they could all do it in their pajamas is what I heard.
I think that may become the new normal.
Really?
We have as many people who are participating in these workshops that are done virtually as we did the ones in person. Mm-hmm. They don't have to get up, get dressed,
find a location.
And, and here in Metro Atlanta, we do have this thing called traffic.
Yeah,
and I think particularly women like it a lot better.
Well,
it's because we're always multitasking.
It's actually something that you could do both ways. Because there's no reason why you couldn't be able to stream a live workshop and have people attend. That way they get whatever preference they want. If they get, because I often record the speaking engagements that I do and then I'll rebroadcast them later. So that way I hit both the people that can go and the people that can't go. Because a lot of people prefer in person. I personally prefer in person. Yeah. But there's something to be said about the convenience of digital.
And are the workshops provided by SCORE free to attend, or do they usually have a small fee?
It's about half and half. There's a nominal fee. I think it's currently $30.
Okay.
But you got different. Here are the upcoming workshops. You've got 21 ways to fund your nonprofit, 50 tools to make you work harder, smarter, not harder, and how to price for profit and growth.
Oh, those are all very good.
So those are the upcoming workshops that we're offering,
and right now they're it's all online, right?
Right now it's all online. They're all via Zoom.
And they can go to the website to sign up.
Yeah, they go. We take care of all the registration. We do a lot of marketing of these workshops. We got a strong relationship with the Small Business Administration and with the various Chamber of Commerces in North Metro Atlanta, and there's always links on their website, so chamber members can attend the ones that they want to, and we take care of constant contact, all the registration.
Now, we've done, as far as the types of workshops that they have, besides the subject, I've been involved in almost like a lecture series where I get up there and I'm teaching, but also expert panels, Q&A panels where they'll gather
more than one beautiful brain.
They'll gather us a bunch of us together. They'll have somebody that specializes in HR, somebody that specializes in finance. They'll have me up there as a specialist in marketing, and then they'll just open the floor to people. And any question that you've ever had to ask, come ask it. And we're, in the hot seat the whole time trying to answer these questions for people. So that's valuable as well.
Yeah, you actually are making me think about what I wanted to ask you. So in a normal workshop situation, for those of our listeners that may have never attended a seminar or workshop with any of the organizations we've talked about here on the podcast, a lot of times it gives you an opportunity to ask questions to the speaker, to approach the speaker after the event, or do follow-up after the event with the speaker if they said something that resonated. Can you, Zachary, tell me a little bit about what that experience is like with a Zoom meeting? Are the attendees still able to ask questions and have their questions answered?
They can. It's with the Zoom meeting, at least the ones that I've been through with SCORE, their cameras are not turned on, but they can type their question.
Don't worry, they're not looking at you in your pajamas.
They can type their question, and then there's usually a moderator from SCORE that's there that will go through the questions and make sure there's no funny, ridiculous questions in there, and will present the question to me, and then I will answer it, live. I'll be able to talk. They can see me, but they will type their questions. The only thing that I've ever seen a problem with that from a webinar standpoint is sometimes, if there's so many people writing questions, it can get missed. Whereas if you're raising your hand, I can literally see the people,
and they can approach you after the event, which is a little different now. You can't do that.
When I did it, I told people, gave them my information, told them they could contact me. And then what I did is I told them, I said, if you put a question in the box, even if we didn't get to it, because Lord knows, they'll keep us there all day. But I said, if you asked a question during the seminar, I will answer it, because I get a transcript of everything that was asked. And then, we did Q&A number 2, was me answering those questions on the podcast. So that way everybody gets their question heard. It does hurt the follow-up question a little bit, because it's not the same as being in the room with somebody, but it's
not, but at least
safer.
It's something.
It's safer during Corona. So
yeah, and at least there is some sort of platform there for the moderator to kind of filter some questions through you that are coming in if someone really has.
Don't you wish you bought stock in Zoom before this?
Yes.
Like, people, I knew who they were because it's in the podcasting community, but so many people had no idea who Zoom was, and now everybody knows who they are.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, last November, it was recommended to me that I buy Zoom stock, and of course I passed.
Did you really? Oh, man. That's the saddest story I've heard today.
I've heard that story from lots of people with different companies. I worked with a guy one time. He's like, somebody was trying to convince me when I was growing up to invest in some place that had 5-cent hamburgers. And I was like, no way. Well, it was McDonald's. So
it's like DoorDash.
Those hurt.
DoorDash is and Uber and all that stuff. Well, the other thing that I was thinking of, we have done, this is the final chapter in our small business startup series. And we talked about the SBDC. We've talked about the Chamber of Commerce. So can you help me figure out what the difference is between, in a nutshell, between the a SCORE, the SBA proper, and the Chamber of Commerce and the SBDC? What is the difference between all of these things?
Well, we partner with all those organizations that you have just named. We'll start first with the chambers.
Okay.
So we have a very close relationship with the Cobb Chamber, the North Fulton Chamber, the Gwinnett Chamber, the Southwest Gwinnett Chamber, Forsyth County Chamber. We have a relationship with the Cartersville Chamber.
Oh, wow.
And in many of these chambers is where we meet clients or people we provide mentoring or we do workshops. Mm-hmm. So they can kind of consider us as an added benefit to their members. We often attend their new or prospective member monthly meetings to tell them what services we offer.
As mentors.
Yes, SCORE. with the Small Business Administration, we were formed out of there. And across the country, there are many SCORE offices within the small SBA offices as well. For example, the Atlanta chapter has an office there. And we get a lot of people go to the SBA website to register for either mentoring with SCORE or attend our workshops. And during this period of time, with all the programs that have come out of Washington, one of the major things that we have done with the SBA is provide advice to people how to get one of those three loan programs, where they talk about the EIDL program, the SBA Express Loan Program, or the Payroll Protection Plan. And it's a real joy to help people through that application process and see them get funding.
That stuff is so hard to navigate on your own.
There's lots of different rules.
Yes, they are, and it is not easy, and fortunately, a lot of the money has now come back from the large corporations that really didn't need to have the money, like the Los Angeles Lakers.
Right.
And
name dropping. What else? Ruth Chris.
Yeah, there were several of them.
They're numbered, but the program was so designed that anybody could take advantage of it. The SBA was just besieged. It was thrown in their lap as how in the world are they going to administer all of this?
How do you monitor who gets what?
They're in the process of hiring 10,000 employees right now.
Oh my goodness, what a mess.
So I know SBDC, we do things with them. They do things with us. The difference is between SCORE, all of the counselors, mentors with SBDC, they're employees, either employed.
They are getting paid.
They're getting paid either through one of the university systems, like either Kennesaw, Georgia State, University of Georgia. They have a large office here in Gwinnett. I have not worked with them specifically. The difference is one has to already have a business plan before they can get help from the SBDC. And the SBDC does not do nonprofits as well.
Okay.
So often they will refer people to us.
Sure.
They said somebody has come to us. They have a lot of resources. They get far more funding from the government than SCORE does. They get something like $80 million a year. SCORE gets $8 million. So
it just means you have to be more creative.
There you go. But some very competent people know and have worked with several of them. We've had people who left SCORE to go to work for the SBDC.
Right.
And that happens from time to time. But we've been on a lot of panels with people from the SBDC. So great organization.
So I've got a question for you. We've been talking throughout this whole series about these organizations, including, the SBA, the SBDC and SCORE, and then the Chambers of Commerce. And they all live to serve the business communities, usually, by location, by the different cities. How have you seen SCORE specifically impact the local business community?
Well, I think we make a huge impact. In fact, in the last 2 years, this SCORE chapter alone has helped start and create over 1,000 jobs.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I think there's no greater gift than you can give to someone than help them to start a job or a business that provides work not only for them, but also for people that they later employ.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. That's one of the things about starting a business or owning a business that a lot of people don't think about. As a business owner, we get attached to our employees. It's like being the father of a house. You are they're my responsibility to take care of them, make sure that they're okay. Which is one of the reasons the pandemic hurt business owners so bad, is we had to furlough our children. And that's never any fun. But always creating jobs. Small business, backbone of America.
Yeah, got to keep everybody working.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's take a moment to hear from our sponsors, and when we get back, I'll ask Zachary to give us the straight shot for today. This episode of Straight Chat is brought to you by Tresta. Tresta is a business phone app for your iPhone or Android that allows you to activate a business phone number instantly and make and receive unlimited calls and texts right from the smartphone you're already using. Whether you're a freelancer or a founder, growing your business is all about communication and networking. You've got to be available, no matter if you're in the office, traveling for business, or working remote. Tresta's virtual phone system allows you to separate your personal and business phone numbers to get work done anywhere at any time. Tresta also comes equipped with powerful call management features like auto attendance, call recording, and user groups. It's easy to configure so you can set everything up yourself, all online, and customize your call flows based on your business needs. Tresta is the best phone system for small businesses and entrepreneurs, whether you just need a business phone number or if your team is ready for a complete business phone system. It's just $15 per user per month and comes with a 30-day free trial so you can see if Tresta's virtual phone system is right for you. Communicate smarter and more efficiently from anywhere with Tresta. Start now at tresta.com/straight shot. That's TRESTA.com/straight shot, all one word. This episode is sponsored by RIMS, a global organization dedicated to the profession of risk management. For nearly 60 years, RIMS has delivered the latest strategies and resources that allow risk professionals to grow, innovate, and succeed in any business. RIMS works with industry leaders to provide content and online training that business professionals can turn to. Topics include business continuity, cyber risk, risk management techniques, the fundamentals of insurance, and more. There's also a private, members-only site where people can discuss sensitive issues and get honest answers. Members have been leaning on each other as we all navigate this pandemic. If you're concerned about the safety of your employees and the sustainability of your organization, then you need the resources and connections that RIMS provides. Learn more at go.rims.org/shot. You could get 25% off a year-long membership. Welcome back, everyone. We have been talking with Bill Foust from SCORE and discussing yet another of the resources available to the business community. Zachary, what do you have for us in the way of a straight shot for today's episode?
I think I'll talk about the takeaways from today's episode and the whole series as well. You know, SCORE is a resource for new and existing business owners that helps them to answer questions from experience. And that's really the biggest value, I think, to the mentor program. It's huge. Being able to tap into people that have been in your industry and have had a successful business before is a great opportunity for somebody that is just starting out, or even somebody that has a few years under their belt and they haven't gone through a certain stretch of business ownership, if you will. And all the conversations have priest-like confidentiality. So, it's a safe place to get answers when it comes to some of a business owner's most difficult questions. Now, the workshops are there, in my opinion, to bring in newer executives and experts to talk on focused subjects and to provide answers to more modern questions. SCORE asked me to come in and teach on a variety of business communication related subjects throughout the year and throughout the Atlanta metro area. SCORE is made up of seasoned and retired executives, and their experience is vital. But the marketplace is constantly changing. And through this program, through the workshop program, they're able to provide both experience and current practice expertise to the business community. So, the mentorship really gives you that valuable experience from guys that have, been there, done that, so to speak, and have the longevity behind them to say, hey, when I did, and walk you through the process. And then the workshops, they bring in people that are, still working, still in the throes of the marketplace, and we can talk more directly to things that are actually happening now. So I think the SCORE really provides both sides through their program, and that's what this series really has been all about, providing teachings and resources that are available to entrepreneurs and startups, as well as existing businesses, to help them in their journey towards success. We're all here to help the business community, help individual business owners grow and become successful, because we believe in the dream of America. America was built on the idea of work hard, make your own life, and, provide for others. And that's, a lot of people, SCORE, SBA, SBDC, the Chamber, us, we live to support that dream for people.
Yes, absolutely.
America.
And if you are new to Straight Shot, go back and watch or listen to the other episodes in this series to hear about building your company's foundation, hear a little bit about the SBDC, or you can hear a little bit about the Chamber of Commerce. These are all valuable resources that are available to you as part of the business community. As is Zachary's new book, Married to Marketing, which this is the workbook of, but Married to Marketing, Zachary's new book, will be the subject of our next podcast, which will be released on July 27th. So make sure that you join us for that. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcast content. And don't forget to hit that like button. It literally helps us a lot on some of these platforms. You can also text the word Reformation, that's Reformation, to number 90210 to receive notifications on your cell phone when we release all of our new episodes. Bill, thank you again for coming today.
My pleasure.
We truly appreciate you and everything that SCORE does for our business community. If you'd like to be a guest, suggest a topic, or have questions about marketing or the business community on our show, please email us at info@straightshot.net, or you can call us at 678-825-8086, extension 300. Until next time, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. If you found this podcast informative, we hope you'll pass along our web address, straightshot.net, to your friends, colleagues, and business associates. And please leave us a positive review on our Facebook page at facebook.com/straightshot. If you would like to have your question featured on the show, or would like to be a guest, call 678-825-8086, extension 300. Or you can email us at info@straightshot.net. Be sure to download the Straight Shot podcast app on your smartphone to hear previous and new shows. This has been Straight Shot.